Hello everyone and welcome back to Slippery Jack Reviews It, the show where I talk about a variety of different types of music, new and old, and today I'm going to be talking about Kraftwerk's Computer World. Yep, it's time for a tribute to Florian Schneider, who has died at 73 from cancer. I'm sure Kraftwerk and Florian Schneider are names that a lot of you who are younger may be unfamiliar with. But, yeah, I'm sure, some of you may be like, why should I care about some old group from Germany that I've never heard of? Well, Kraftwerk are easily one of the most influential bands of all time. They have influenced, nearly every single electronic artist today, and a lot of the greats we have now wouldn't be here. Without them, we wouldn't have deadmau5, we wouldn't have Daft Punk, Orbital, New Order, Aphex Twin, names go on. And even all the modern EDM artists that you probably listen to are very much familiar with Kraftwerk. But yeah, luckily Florian Schneider left Kraftwerk in 2008, so that doesn't mean the end of the group, but still, he played a major part in that band. He was there for all of their studio albums, and I think that he definitely deserves a tribute. And I'm also a pretty big fan of this group. I reviewed their album Autobahn last year, just for the heck of it. I was thinking about reviewing Man Machine, since that is personally my favorite album, but instead I chose Computer World because it is by far their most iconic album. Like what most people would say, it's definitely one of their best. I'm sure most of you have heard something from it, at least one time in your life. And I will admit it is not an all-time favorite album, but it is still a very enjoyable one. And I come back to it pretty often. One of the things about this album that may throw some people off is that it has not aged very well. I don't like to say that about albums, but during their heydays, Kraftwerk tried to make music that would about what the future might be like. And back in 1981, computers were very uncommon, so having a world full of computers, that sounded pretty crazy, wouldn't you think? So when you listen to Computer World, imagine yourself being back in the late 70s or the early 80s when you rarely saw computers, and then just think about these people are singing about a world full of computers where they're dominating, which is now. So yeah, this album does not give you images of the future anymore. It gives you images of the present. And yeah, this world is very much a computer world. The fact that you're watching me right now on a computer, and it proves it. However, that doesn't remove from the enjoyment. Its retro-futuristic sounds are quite fun, and of course, they add to the nostalgia. There is also an English version and a German version, and lots of other versions in other languages that I haven't heard. I've only heard the English version and the German version, and since these guys are German, if you want the true sound of this album, you might want to hear the German version. I don't really care which one I listen to. I usually listen to the English version because it's a little more accessible, and I could just type in Kraftwerk Computer World, and it comes up as English. Whereas I don't really care that much, but there are it's different, but not in a bad way or anything. So, moving on to individual tracks, Computer World title track has a great melody and prepares you for what you're about to get into. The vocoders on this one in the English version, the vocoders have this cool effect on them when they say Computer World. I love that. I love the sound of that. The German version doesn't have that, but it leaves more room for atmospheric effect. The music on this track is very atmospheric, and Yeah, I love the English vocoders better, but I love how the German version has more emphasis on atmosphere. I don't really care that much which one I listen to once again. Pocket Calculator sounds almost like something you would hear in a video game, or like from a more specifically a 1980s video game. I still love this track. It's just a lot of fun. There was one thing that a lot of people were confused about on this one, and that is they couldn't find that special key that plays a little melody on their calculators. So I I wonder where they got the idea of making music on a calculator like that. Maybe that's yet to come. Maybe one day we will be making music on calculators. But yeah, this is just like I love this track. But yeah, I love like the stylophones, and then at the end where they have like this treated guitar effect, and that is one of the things that Florian Schneider is known for. He loves using real acoustic instruments and then just messing with them and turning them into Kraftwerks' signature electronic sound. And the German version of this track, I'm not sure like if I was even listening to the real one, because like it had like this EDM style beat that you would hear like in the late 90s, and it had like these big shimmery melodies that did not sound like they were of its time. Was Kraftwerk just miles ahead of their time with that track, or was that a remix or something? I don't know, but you can look it up on YouTube and tell me for yourself what I was hearing. Numbers is, unfortunately, if I really had to pick a least favorite track, this might be it, but I still love it. It has all these atonal melodies that sometimes stop with like and like sometimes they just like stop with the beat still going, and it's got like these computer voices that are counting in different languages, and that just always made it really memorable. Like I can't remember how he was, like, I don't know how to count in German, but the most memorable thing about this track was the uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Like that, it just always stuck out to me. And after, yeah, it's just a really fun track to listen to. It almost sounds like, my father described it as like sounding like a leftover from Radioactivity, since that album had like a lot of songs that sound very similar. But then at the end of it, it goes right back into a reprise of the title track, and I actually like this version better because it doesn't have any like of the doesn't have any intrusive vocoders or vocals. It just is the pure, beautiful melody of the title track, and it just like, this one just seems to have more power than the first one part did. Of course, I still love the first part, but at the end you just hear like the German voices, the German computer voices all glitched out, and then still the uno, dos, tres, cuatro voices. And on one of the versions, like, they kept the melody going a little longer. I can't remember what that was. And yeah, reason why I said that, said love by mistake, because we're about to get into the one and only Computer Love. And oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how much I love this track. This is easily my favorite Kraftwerk song. Yes, above Autobahn. It just has such beautiful melodies, and it makes you feel so good. It's basically a song about online dating or using computers to cope with loneliness. The second half, where they have that melody going, is just like, it just like builds up layer upon layer. It just shows Kraftwerk's amazing ability to make fantastic melodies. And I can't get enough of this track. And it was also definitely a very influential track, as it was ripped for a certain song by a certain band, Okay, this does not piss me off as much as it did most Kraftwerk fans. I loved Coldplay's take on Computer Love. Chris Martin, by the way, did get permission from Ralph Hooder to use it for talk. And you know me, I love my guitars, and Coldplay really added power to it. But Kraftwerk did it in such a way that made it more hypnotic, magical, and yeah, Computer Love is far better. But yeah, I love talk, and I think that it shouldn't get as much hate. But just so you know, you guys who listen to Coldplay, this is not as original as you may have thought it was. Still fantastic, though. And I've got nothing against Coldplay. But we aren't done yet. Kraftwerk throw yet another great track at us with Home Computer, which has this dark synth bass and a sitar. It sounds really cool. And every couple of minutes it has like these sci-fi movie kind of sound effects. Like just go. I love that. And just when you think it's over, it goes into, it's more fun to compute, which is like Home Computer, but that synth bass is turned up, it hits harder, and it's got these atmospheric synth melodies. It just sounds like you're on another planet. It sounds so cool. And I think I actually like this one better than Home Computer. But yeah, and that's Computer World. It's definitely a legendary album in electronic music, and for all of you who are fans of any kind of electronica, or even 90s rave or IDM, you need to absolutely hear this album, because any electronic fan should not die before being familiar with Computer World. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. But this is a fantastic album. It still makes for an enjoyable listen today, even though the lyrics sound quite silly since we live in a computer world. But that just makes it more fun. It makes it more nostalgic for anyone who maybe grew up in a world where computers were scarce. But yeah, definitely give it a listen. And once again, rest in peace, Florian Schneider. Your legacy will always be remembered. And yeah, I'm overall feeling an 83 out of 100. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe for more awesome videos. Give me some options in the comments for what you think I should review next. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out.